Okay, so again, I apologize for the internet issues we were having Monday night with the videos. We'll have that fixed before our next meeting to ensure that the videos are able to be viewed and played. So tonight, what I want to do is I just want to go over the videos that we missed um, and just talk about those videos in conjunction with the rules that we discussed on the contact. First video here. So this is talking about free kick and K. So free kick blocking by K. So again, we know when K can and cannot legally block. And so here we have a surprise onside kick. And this is when you're going to see this is on onside kicks, because what happens is K wants to try to, the front line folks for K want to try to block or screen off our players so K can recover. So we'll see a side view here of what the wing official is going to look and see. So the ball is on the ground. It has to go 10 yards before K can legally recover. Those two things did not happen. R did not touch the ball. So K initiated a block prior to the ball going 10 yards. So that's a lot for the wing official to try to see. So the block's there, the ball's at 9 yards. So that is an illegal block by K. And so it's a lot there for that wing official. So, if you're opposite them and you see a block and you think it might be illegal, drop the flag. But then we need to have a crew discussion, and we need to determine if K was eligible to recover the loose ball at the time of the block. If they were eligible to recover that loose ball, then that block is legal. If they were not eligible to recover that loose ball, then that block is illegal. And on that video there, it's clear who was initiating the block. You see who the force was. Well, let's watch this video. Again, onside kick. Everybody's lined up. Ball is eventually recovered by R. And not actually gone. I don't think it actually gone 10 yards, but watch the action at the front there. And can you really determine who's initiating the blocking? Look at K, look at R, look at those players. So they're, to me, they all kind of, when they make contact, no player moves one way or the other. And actually, when the K players gets blown up pretty good by the R player there. But it's not clear who's initiating that block. And if it's not clear, then we don't need to be calling it. We only need to be calling the ones that are obviously a foul. That's free blocking. Sorry, that's K blocking during free kicks. Next, we're going to look at some illegal helmet contact versus targeting plays here. So, all right. So, is this player considered defenseless? So remember that chart that I discussed that was in the rules by topic book on that. As a intended receiver during immediately following the interception, contact is allowed as long as it's not illegal helmet contact or targeting. Let's go back to this. So he would qualify as a defenseless player here. Okay, because so he gets contacted. So the question for the back judge, now this is gonna be the back judge. Question for the back judge is, was that contact legal? And remember, the onus is on the defender, or in this case, B, I should say. The onus is on B to make that contact legal. So where was the receiver, the intended receiver, was he hit above the shoulders? Clearly was. Helmet was what was hit him into essentially helmet to helmet, face mask to the helmet area. So This would be a foul for targeting by B. Now, this occurred after the change of possession. So when you make this call, the back judge has got to see the play clearly above the shoulders, contact initiated above the shoulders, defenseless player, targeting foul. Clearly that. But now this is back judge, you have to see that, you flag it, but then you also have to know possession. When did this foul occur? It occurred after the change of possession. So B can still keep the football after being penalized for this foul. There's another play. Again, so this player was defenseless. He was wrapped up by an opponent. Okay, he was wrapped up by a defender, and now we have another defender that comes across and hits him in that head and neck area. So that is not allowed. That is a foul for targeting. Now, if you really got him in the shoulder, it's legal. If he gets him in the head and neck, it's illegal. Again, something we need to be aware of. But that player is defenseless, so we need to have extra scrutiny on the contact against that player. All right, so here we have contact against a passer. So remember, a passer is when he throws a legal forward pass. So he is defenseless. So that is the contact against him needs to be legal. So it can't be late, and it can't be illegal helmet contact or targeting. So this was definitely illegal helmet contact. Spearing hits him right with the crown of the helmet. Doesn't really matter in high school if we call that targeting or illegal helmet contact, but what it is a roughing the passer foul. And remember, roughing the passer has special penalty enforcement, and so that since that was an incomplete pass, it would be enforced from the previous spot. Automatic first down. Go. We have a runner who give himself up by sliding. Now, when does he become defenseless? Remember, we talked about this Monday night. He becomes defenseless when he actually knee or lower leg actually hits the ground. So it's not when he initiates, but it's when he actually contacts the ground that he becomes defenseless. So the onus is on the defenders to pull up at that point. Now, if you slide right into the defender's feet, and the defender just kind of falls onto him, that's one thing. But as you can see, these two defenders, they not only fall into him, but they forcefully contact his head and neck area. So that is a targeting foul for against a defenseless player. So he's on the ground, he's defenseless, and then they didn't just fall on him, they forcefully contacted his head and neck area. We've got a player scrambling, and we got a big hit. So big player hits little player at full speed. All right, big hit. But is this player defenseless? No, because he's a runner. So he's not defenseless. Did illegal helmet contact occur? No. The contact is to the shoulder to the head, neck, maybe shoulder area, chest, upper chest. But he didn't use his helmet. It's not targeting because he's not defenseless. So this is a clean, hard hit against a runner. No foul. It looks very violent, but no foul. We got another. So this doesn't look anything too knocked, but then look at that tackle. So what is that? So he's a runner, so he's not defenseless. So we have to say, did illegal helmet contact occur? So did he hit him with the crown of the helmet? And if he did, then that's a foul for illegal helmet contact. It's not targeting, but it could still be illegal helmet contact. So this one in this case would be spearing, because again, drops the crown, goes into, leads with the crown of his helmet here in this case. Now this is a safety issue for the defender. All right, we're trying to protect the defenders. You put a lot of force on your spine and your neck if you tackle like this. So we need to be wary of this and be on the lookout for that. Here we have another pass play over the middle. So we see a lot of these type of hits. So again, was this player defenseless? Was this receiver defenseless? Has he had time to establish himself as a runner? It's close. I mean, I talked about this kind of that gray area where he can catch the pass, maybe even begin to secure possession of the pass, but has he had a chance to establish himself as a runner? You know, and the type of play is that you have to think about if he had been dislodged, if the ball had been dislodged from him by that defender, would you have ruled it complete and a fumble, or would you have ruled it incomplete pass? If you had ruled it, if you were going to rule that an incomplete pass, then he is not obviously established himself as a runner, and he's still considered defenseless. So you could make, probably at full speed, I'm going to say that this would be a defenseless receiver. If that ball had been dislodged for him at full speed, it'd been an incomplete pass. So he's defenseless. And then the next question is, did we have illegal helmet contact or targeting on this play? And we did not. He's contacted actually in the chest area, more chest to chest. Helmet, there might have been some helmet contact, but it wasn't the forcible helmet contact. It wasn't then initiated into that area. It was initiated into the chest. His head does snap back from the side, but that's from the contact of the chest. And so this is not a foul. And I actually showed this video to Charlie because we talked about the definition change when it came to talking about trying to wrap up a player. Let me go back and pull up that rule change here. So yeah, here it is right here. Slide right here. So they talked about incidental contact, initiate with open hands, or as an attempt to tackle by wrapping arms around the receiver. When I showed this to Charlie, I said, I don't believe we should be calling this a foul. And he agreed. This is not a foul. So yes, the player was defenseless. The contact was below the shoulders, primarily into the chest area. This would not be a foul in this situation. So that wraps up the videos on illegal helmet contact, targeting. Now we've got some talking about use of hands, offensive and defensive players. We've got a block kick. So who's eligible to recover? So who's able to recover this? Anybody, right? Anybody can recover this. And so as such, remember, a player may push, pull, or ward off an opponent in an attempt to recover a loose ball that he may legally possess. So anybody can possess this, which means that that players are eligible to push, pull, or ward off an opponent. So what we have there is we have a Indiana player in the red pushes the Idaho player in white in the back to get to the loose ball. And he is eligible to do that. That is a legal play. There's no foul on that. Next few videos are going to be about blocking in terms of blocking the back, blindside block. So look at that. So that block on the wing there. So it looks bad. So we need to determine a couple things. So let's watch it again here. This is where you need to have that discussion where you see the entire block. Some real speed, and it looked very questionable. So let's go back and see it again here. We have a long discussion here, getting different vantage points, different viewpoints. And for us, the wing official may have one view, and the back judge may have a different view on these blocks on the edge here. These are blocks out in the open, so we should have some views on this. So we need to discuss this and make sure everybody's on the same page. So here it is. So he's coming from the blind side, right? He's from the blind side. Talk about the frames. Remember, the frames, the front and the side. So it's long, and he's initiating with open hands. So the blind side block is legal, okay? Because he's initiating with open hands. The next question is this a block in the back? Well, if the force is to the side, which it is, that force is to the side, then initiate with open hands, and this is a legal block. This is not a block in the back. This is not an illegal blindside block. This is a legal block by the offense in the situation. You can see in real time, that's very quick. Says you got to see the whole play. So this wing official has one view, back judge has a different view, and when that happens out in the open, you need to get consultation from both to make sure that we get the call correct. The other thing to say about this video is that the coach is going to have lots of questions because, again, odds are the coach isn't going to see the entire block. He's just going to see the end of it. And so you need to be able to explain to him, coach, the contact was initiated from the blind side, but with open hands, which makes it a legal blindside block. And the contact was initiated from the side, not the back, which makes it a legal block as well. So we've got a punt. So we've got we got the player by K, but excuse me, by R that jumps into the air. So when that happens, K can legally block the R player below the waist. Remember, blocking below the waist, you've got to have it only applies. So an illegal block below the waist only applies to opponent with one or both feet on the ground. So if he's jumping into the air, you cannot penalize K in the situation from that standpoint. So this is a legal block. And again, so you've got to see the whole block, because if you just see the part where he's down here and he's flipping him over, you might call that a foul. But you see the whole block and you realize that the R player had left the ground, had both feet into the air, then there's no foul there. So let's see. We got a flag here. Didn't we see it right away? Let's go back and see what we've got here. We have a discussion. And these happen very fast. Clip again. So let's see that clip here. These happen in the interior line right there. See, that's a from behind, below the waist, obvious safety issue. You get major injuries from that. So that is a foul. This is never allowed. If he had gotten him from the front and the side, it still would be an illegal block because it wasn't immediate at the snap. But this is a clip, and so this is a 15-yard foul. We just have to see these because there's a major safety issue. One thing to mention in this case, so based on the rule change to 10, this foul is going to be enforced from the previous spot. This foul kind of happened at the line of scrimmage anyway, but this is not a spot foul. Because this foul occurred behind the end of the run. This foul by rule will now be enforced from the previous spot, since the foul occurred at or behind the initial line of scrimmage. All right, so see some line play in here. We're seeing another angle of that. We got 2 flags, 3 flags, flags all over the field. But let's see again what happened here on this play. So we've got a chop block. All right, so we've got 2 players, 1 high, 1 low. Now, okay, you can make the case that the free blocking zone has gone away. The ball has left the free blocking zone. And so when the ball leaves the free blocking zone, this is no longer considered a chop block. This is a block below the waist. So still an illegal block, still a 15-yard foul. But just realize that if the ball was still, if the free blocking zone was still present, this would be a chop block. If the ball had left the free blocking zone, which it had, then this would be an illegal block below the waist. All right. So let it run. So we've got this foul. Now this foul is behind the line of scrimmage by A. On an incomplete pass, it gets tipped to the line of scrimmage. Pass is incomplete. With the new rule change, this foul will now be enforced from the previous spot. So we would go 15 yards from the previous spot. Error players always helps. And it's important to remember that blocking goes both ways. So remember, both teams can block, and both teams are responsible for blocking legally. So in this case, you see this a lot. So you saw that B player block below the waist of this A player right there. That's an illegal block below the waist. For this to occur, for B to block below the waist, what is the criteria? Immediate action snap. B has to be on the line of scrimmage. A's got to be on the line of scrimmage. And they have to be in the zone at the snap. So none of that occurred in this case, other than A being on the line of scrimmage. But B definitely was not on the line of scrimmage, and it was definitely not immediate. So this is a 15-yard foul on an illegal block below the waist. B, this is a safety issue. And in terms of penalty enforcement, this should be enforced. It depends on where the end of the run occurred. If it occurred beyond the line of scrimmage, then we're going from the end of the run. If we're going behind the line of, if the end of the run occurred behind the line of scrimmage, then we're going from the previous spot. So he gained yards. So we're going to go from the end of the run here, 15 yards. Again, much like the other one, where you see very good view here. We've got if the free blocking zone was still in effect, you would have essentially a chop block, one above the waist, one below the waist, right here. So look at number 10 right here. And if the free blocking zone had dissipated, then this would be a block below the waist. This foul occurred by A behind the line of scrimmage. This is going to be enforced from the previous spot. Couple examples of holding here. Again, it's not just grab, but it's grab and restrict. So you can see right there, number 76, left tackle. He grabs him, and then he turns him. You know, he's restricting his movement with his hands outside the frame. That at the point of attack, these are the obvious ones that we got to get. Got to get that. Okay? So those are the ones that we're looking for. All right, so here again, where was the initial force at? It's like initial pushed him in the back, actually pushes him into the runner. Very, very poor block there. Let's talk a little bit about the mechanics on this. So this is a block in the back. So it occurred around what, the 19? Flag is thrown, and then keeps officiating. So good job, gets the dead ball spot again. So this foul, with the rule changes this year. All right, so we got the end of the run occurred, the foul by A behind the line of scrimmage. End of the run occurred behind the line of scrimmage. If this foul is enforced, it's going to be enforced from the previous spot. So referees really, really have got to explain that to the coaches, because this is a change. We're not going from the end of the run on this situation. We're going from the previous spot. There's another one right there, kind of on the edge. Kind of on the edge there. So grab, he's outside the frame, he's grabbing, he's restricting movement, he's turning. That at the point of attack. We need to get that one. We need to get that one. Okay. On the other view, he finishes the block by falling on him. I have no issue with that personally. Not really done. He pushes him to the ground, kind of falls on him. He doesn't land on his head. He doesn't use his helmet to punish him. He just kind of falls on him. I guess okay, but that hold there, point of attack on the edge, wing official, referee, got to be able to see those. And remember, holding applies as well to the receiver. So here we have a running play. Okay, it's not a horse collar. Running play. But what do we have in the end? Well, that's a hold. That's a hold. I mean, he tackles the guy in the end zone. But that's a holding. Remember, B can contact an eligible receiver up until the point where he's no longer a potential blocker. So here in this case, he's no longer a potential blocker. We got defensive holding. So in this case, we have the end of the run is behind the line of scrimmage. We have a foul that's by B beyond the line of scrimmage. This foul is going to be enforced from the previous spot. So we're going to go from the previous spot here. Here we've got change of possession. So what happens in change of possessions, you get a lot of people moving in different directions. You can get a lot of illegal blocks right there. Kind of a wide field of vision. We got to see that. It's a blindside block. We got to flag that. Here's another angle of it. So it's incumbent on the back judge, wing officials to really keep a wide view, kind of see those blocks. You can see it coming. You can see it coming. And then we got to get that. All right. So, and that's going to be after change of possession. Spot of the foul is behind the end of the run. So that's going to be a spot of the foul enforcement. We have a nice play. Again, so wide field of vision, we got to see that. We got to get that. You know, wing official, back judge, you got to kind of keep an eye on that player. He did not lead with his open hands. He led with his shoulders on the blind side. And so we've got to get this as a safety issue. That's a foul on an illegal blindside block. If he had led with his open hands, he'd been perfectly fine. But the fact that he led with the shoulder makes that illegal. And again, opposite wing may see that. Umpire may see that. But we just didn't have to keep. If you're not responsible for the ball and the runner, then you need to be responsible for the blocking and the action around the area. Here's the last one on blocking. Again, so similar to the other one we saw that was legal. Again, we have a flag, we have a discussion. Let's watch this again. So they pick it up. Why do they pick this up? Okay, you can kind of see a little bit there, but he initiates with open hands. Watch him. So from the side, and it's open hands. So it's a blindside block that's legal because it's initiated with open hands, and because it's from the side, this is a legal block. So very good job by the crew. Again, one official has one angle, throws a flag, but in this case, the crew discussed it and they made sure that all angles were represented, and one official had a better angle. I said this is legal because of it was initiated with open hands and it was from the side. Thus, they picked the flag up. Very good job there. Couple of helping the runner videos. Again, I only bring this up because it's a point of emphasis. But here, clearly, all right, you've got a lineman pulling the runner forward and basically essentially tackling his own player to gain yards. That's what we're looking for. Obvious situations there. There's another one. So direct assistance to the runner. Again, it's down towards the goal line. He gets stood up. And then he basically gets lifted up. So the direct assistance is to the runner. That lineman, he's not pushing the pile, he's pushing the runner. That's what we're looking for. It's a 5-yard basic spot foul. Hurdling. So he had that defender was contacting the ground with more than just his feet. Thus, that is a legal play. Legal play. You know, the defender has another body part touching the ground besides his feet. So that is a legal play. This is what we're looking for. This is the defender was, yeah, he had squatted down a little bit to kind of get in good tackling form, but he's only contacting the ground with his feet, and the runner jumps over him. That obvious hurdle foul, and then that's a safety issue. We need to get that. And this just illustrates the point of just making it close. Making it close. Making it obvious. Pre-snap wise, we need to back up. Line judge is too close. So he's got to backpedal. Again, so you've got a defender going down to the ground. It needs to be obvious that the foul was for hurdling, but that was not obvious enough. That's not what we need. I did not see the initial of it. I only saw the tail end, so I did not call him off of that because I was looking at the blocking around. I wasn't really focused on the runner, so I missed the initial action there and did not get a good view of where the defender was when the player hurdled over him. The point is, make it obvious. So here, talking about face mask fouls. So we have a grab, but no twist. So 5-yard variety there. Okay, so this was a passer, but we remember from special enforcement that only the roughing the pass, or sorry, only the 15-yard face mask foul is considered to be roughing the passer. So if this was a 15-yard grab and grab and twist, then this would be a roughing the passer foul. This is only a 5-yarder. So the question for, A in this case, when it comes to enforcement, is how do we enforce this? So the ball snapped from around the 9. So we have a foul by B behind the line of scrimmage. And the end of the run is he gains like a yard as a 10. So in this case, enforcement would be from the end of the run. But this is not a roughing the passer because it was only a 5-yard face mask. A couple of horse collar videos, and then we'll be done here in a minute. All right, so again, grabbing that nameplate area, pulling backwards or sidewards. This can be hard for the wing official when it's at the sideline like this. There's a lot of things he's focused on. So as the trailing official, you need to be able to get over there and get that. So clearly grabbed him from the nameplate area. That referee's got to be trailing that to be able to get over there and see that action there. All right, so call the tilling. All right, so let's see. All right, so a lot of things are us. Okay, so it's a horse collar, right? Okay, he grabs him, pulls him backwards. The question on this is, does this player, number 3, he kind of lets it go. So if you don't rule him down, then he has thrown a pass, but it's not a legal pass. This isn't an illegal pass because it never got back to the line of scrimmage. So he's not a passer. Okay. So he's not protected from that standpoint. So what you would have here is a foul by B, a horse collar foul. Remember, these are always treated as live player fouls. I mean, live ball fouls. And if you rule that a pass, then you have an illegal forward pass, and you're going to offset. If you rule him down, then you have a foul by B when the end of the run occurred behind the line of scrimmage. Based on the rule change, that's going to be enforced from the previous spot. So when this happens, the officials need to discuss, was that a pass or was he down prior to releasing the ball? It's hard to tell from the backside angle. So as a referee, you would need help from your wing official to see when he was actually down. So run. So he got grabbed in the nameplate area, but did he fall forward? And if ever so slightly, then this is not a foul. So he's grabbed there, but he's grabbed around the 40, but he falls out of bounds around the 44. So he went forward. So this is not a foul for a horse collar. Not a foul. Tripping. Remember, this is an intentional act. Intentional. So that is not a natural motion of your legs. So he fights off the block. and he intentionally trips the runner. So this is a foul by B behind the line of scrimmage on a running play that ended behind the line of scrimmage. Thus, this foul is enforced from the previous spot. Since it was inside the 15 as first and goal, you're going to have to distance and replay the down. So that concludes the videos that we could not see. Again, I apologize for that. I hope this added some more insight to what we discussed on Monday night. And I did mention some of Rule 10 in this presentation. We're going to get deeper into it. And we hope to have some more material for you soon to help you with the Rule 10 change now that I'm finally getting some additional clarification. Thank you.